we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Garry.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Garry.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Garry Meier.
Hinges creak in old screen doors. Wheel of Fortune sounds echo through the halls. Whenever fires flicker and the air in tires is full, that is the time when cocktails are present, doing their thing with yappetizing nonsensical delight.
Cocktails, woo, drinks.
Welcome, foolish GarrForce, to the GarryMeierShow Cocktail Hour Live. I am its voice. Its disembodied voice. Kindly like and share on social media, please. There's room for everyone. It's October 29, the start of Halloween weekend 2021. There's no turning back now. Our show begins here at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, or Mountain, 3 Pacific. But you see that no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. Garry's cadaverous pallor betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though he senses a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this show's opening actually stretching? Or is it his imagination? And consider these dismaying observations.
Garry podcasts 5 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday podcasts are complimentary. Tuesday and Thursday podcasts are available to premium subscribers. Check out GarryMeier.com for more and to join up. Download his app in the Apple App Store or in Google Play for Android. Comments are welcome on all of our streaming channels. You can also text us at 773-888-2157. Regular charges may apply. You can see all of our past shows on the GarrForce Live YouTube channel. That's also the best place to stream along with the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour Live each week. Please take a moment now to click subscribe on YouTube. It's free. Click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button to be notified when our shows are live.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Thank you, Ellen Delinka. Appreciate that opening. Very scary. Let's do what we got to do to get wheels up and be clean. We have to kick the tires and light the fires, and there they are, all ready to go. All right, we're wheels up. And we're going to have, I think, a really good show today. And the guest will be part of the Halloween weekend, Hart Fisher. He deals in these very macabre comics, and he has a film festival going on this weekend in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. In fact, this is an odd thing. I don't think this has ever happened. Last week, I had Dieter Sturm on from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and Hart is from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and Dieter is going to be a judge on the panel that's going to be part of the film festival. So this is all worlds colliding kind of stuff, and I'm real excited about this. I had Hart on a few years ago, but it was before we had the live show, so we couldn't show any pictures, and Hart is a very handsome man, and I want everybody to take a look at him, and you will in just a few minutes. Boy, a lot of people, there's the film festival poster right there. Okay, a lot of people have checked in. Deb from Tampa said she's going to the Stones concert in just a few hours in Tampa, and I've talked to several people who have gone to the concert around the country, and everybody said it was amazing. This guy, and by this guy I mean Mick, he's almost 80 years old and still delivering. It's pretty impressive. Deb, enjoy the concert. Anthony, Karen, let me get my screen door in just a minute here. David from Venice, Florida. A lot of Floridians checking in. Daniel from Loves Park, Illinois. Brian, Blaze is at Northwestern Hospital for some reason and can't have a cocktail, and get well soon, Blaze. Lloyd, Patty, Doug, Johnny from Michigan, Stephen, Zachary, Deborah, David from Michigan, Larry, Lynn from Racine, and Lynn sent something to Leslie. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Annie and Jacqueline Martin from British Columbia. Let me look through the screen door now. You got Donna, you got Chris, you got Seal from Lake Bluff, Illinois, and Bill from Glendale, Arizona, formerly Manhattan, Illinois, Norma from Southern Georgia, Dee from Aurora, Illinois, Juan from, well, Juan got the prize last week. We'll talk about what we're giving away today in just a few minutes. Chris from Joliet, Illinois, and Dan is present. So everybody's checking in, and I'm keeping the screen door forever, even though I had to put all the patio furniture away in the last few days. It's over. I have to admit that. The dune buggy's in storage. So I have to say to myself reluctantly that summer's over. Okay, Leslie, how are you? And really, we have to start everything by the release of the wine condom.
And when you say that summer's over, for God's sake, yeah, it's time to drink. So while my costume is kind of subtle this year, my bottle, however, is wearing its super cool costume. It's going as a bottle of champagne, when in fact it's a Sauvignon Blanc. And with that, it's time to
release the condom.
I think we've got some gas buildup here.
I hope so. There. Oh, boy, that popped.
Did you hear it?
That was a nice pop.
I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with Brian, who's joined us this afternoon, as he's getting a tattoo, he says.
That's nice. What kind of, do we know what kind of tattoo it is?
No, but I really hope that he sends some pictures to the GarrForce here so we can share that maybe next week. That would be cool.
And somebody said, slam the screen door. That's the beauty of the screen door. When it hits, that's summer. Really. Do you have a screen door?
Yes, but mine is on a slow close. It's got the little gaskets. It's not the old-fashioned spring close. God, that was the sound.
Yeah, that says summer. And David was the one who said, slam that screen door. And that's not code, I don't think.
That's what she said, yeah.
Okay, Keely Ann, as we have known for weeks, has checked in first, but she sends pictures now. And now that's the schnauzer for Halloween. Look at that.
Awesome.
Look at that schnauz for Halloween. Nice.
Every time I ever tried to take a picture of my dog, it ended up with those eyes.
Yeah, the red eyes.
Because they just reflect so squirrely, and I could never get it right. So
they're like doll's eyes. They're eyes. Wow. Okay, we have a lot to do in this program, and one of the things we do every week now, we give away stuff, and we do this twice, and in the first half hour, and then the second half hour. First half hour is the wine condom and a GarrForce scarf.
There you go. And that's the official GarrForce scarf. And there's your wine condom right there.
Nice.
And the girls at the post office think these things are awesome.
They do, because people at the post office, they know good stuff.
Well, they see a lot of stuff go through, and it's like, what is that thing?
Right.
Oh, my God.
They handle a lot of packages, and they know. And that's the nice package of a wine condom that they're handling. Hey, I had to move some cars today for a friend of mine, and I drove a Ram truck, which sweet.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to get a truck someday. Man, I love being in that big cabin. And one of the other cars was an old Camaro stick shift. Do you know how to drive a stick shift?
I do. Okay. I think everybody should learn how to drive a stick.
In the day, every car was pretty much a stick shift, and then the automatic came in, and the stick shift is pretty much histo. But if you haven't driven one, it's quite the experience. And here's how I learned. I think I've told this before. You never forget the first day you drive a stick shift. I was working construction, and it was me and another guy as the laborers, and he always drove the truck. And then one day he called in sick, and the foreman says to me, okay, you're on your own, so here's your assignment. And I go, I've never driven a stick shift before. So I go out to the truck, and I had watched him a number of times, so I knew, and I was driving around the project.
Theoretically, you knew.
Yes, I knew watching him shift. Okay, I ground a few gears in the process, but you learn
Yeah.
because you have to. And that was the day I learned how to drive a stick shift, and you never forget that moment.
Yeah.
It really is magnificent. And I don't know if I want a stick shift today because I'm so used to just having the automatic, but it is kind of interesting that that's the way it used to be.
And these days it will thwart carjackings. I've heard of at least 3 cases
right.
where some kid is trying to steal your car and then he gets in and goes, "Oh, I can't
Yeah,
make this
because
thing go."
everybody's got an
yeah.
automatic and a carjacker is used to the automatic. That's too bad. When the carjacker has some kind
it's
of
tough.
obstacle, it really is sad. You don't want to see that. So you're drinking again. What are you drinking?
Sauvignon Blanc.
All right. And I got the Manhattan, so I'm good.
And I prompted folks here in the comment on the screen, go ahead and comment that hashtag GarrForce to enter into the drawing.
Oh, okay. Yes. Do that. And we'll pick a little later. The computer picks at random, and you could be a winner. And then later, Ryan, Wisconsin reporter Ryan, is going to give away a GarrForce coffee mug.
And that we're going to do just for our followers on YouTube. So
Yeah,
folks, go over to YouTube and we will provide a comment there later that you can use to enter on YouTube alone.
Yeah.
But this is open to anyone who can comment on our show. We had some issue last week. People were saying their YouTube comments weren't counting. I'm pretty sure they were, but just in case they weren't, we'll do a YouTube only drawing this week.
Okay, that's
And
the
that's how
second
we'll
drawing, and we'll put something on the comment section on how to do that. But right now, you can put hashtag GarrForce for the condom and the scarf. Also, I asked Alan to pull the Shags album cover. It was traditional when I was on the radio to play this song by a group called the Shags called It's Halloween, and did it every Halloween or around Halloween. And here's the bit with the internet, because it sounds like it's the Wild West, but if you try something that's copyrighted, find out how it isn't the Wild West. That's why we don't play a lot of videos anymore, because we would get flagged and they'd pull the show off. So we can't really play it.
Even the videos that we've produced ourselves, they're like, I don't know if we should be able to put that. So
Yeah.
we're being very, very careful. May I sing instead?
You know the
It's
song?
Halloween, it's Halloween.
Halloween.
It's time for scares, it's time for screams.
It's
Halloween, it's Halloween.
If you have heard the song, you're aware that the Wiggins sisters were not the best musicians. There's the album, Philosophy of the World. I like how they went for the gold. First album, let's call it Philosophy of the World. What the hell? This was out.
Some lookers.
Yeah, this was out in '69. And then it kind of just went into the ether. And then about 10 years later, somehow it came out, because I think it was one of those companies that puts out these novelty albums, and it started to circulate. And then we got a hold of it and started playing it. It became a tradition. And like I said, we can't play it because the show will get pulled down after we post it.
I guess the girls were kind of embarrassed. This was not their choice to become a band. It was their dad's choice.
Right.
And rightly so. A couple of years later, they started feeling a little uncomfortable having done this and gotten that kind of attention. But I think they did what a lot of us do, and that's where you look at those foibles and you learn to embrace it.
Yes.
And I think they were much more chill about it as time went on.
No, it's classic. I think Frank Zappa
Oh my God, yeah.
discovered it, and he started to push it out there, and then that's how we got a hold of it.
Wasn't there also the fabulous cut My Dog Foot?
Yes, that was the other one we played, My Dog Foot. The whole album is just great. It's Halloween, it's Halloween. Oh my God. It's scary in that respect. So there's the nod to the Shags. All right. We were talking to our guest before we started here, and I'm really glad that Hart Fisher is part of the program, because he delivers for Halloween like you want Halloween to deliver. If you're into horror, this is the guy. I don't particularly warm to it, but I know there's a big group that is, so I want to embrace that. And I had Hart on the show a number of years ago, but it was before we had the pictures. So I want people to see Hart, and then we can get a feel for what he does. So let's bring Hart on right now and say, hey, Hart, what are you drinking?
Jack and Coke now.
Attaboy.
Nice.
And the
Attaboy.
glass, before I was drinking out of my grandfather's glass, my grandpa Charlie from the 40s, nice Auld Lang Syne, classic glass. And now I'm going with the cheapy freebie for Christmas. Buy your bottle of Jack Daniels for $29.95 and get 2 glasses.
Nice.
That's great. Well, welcome to the program again. And we talked several years ago, and I really enjoyed our conversation. And I thought you're a perfect guest for the Friday before Halloween. And we can show some of your stuff now because we're doing this with pictures. And let's run the movie trailer to promote what your film festival is this weekend in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Why don't we do that, Alan, and give people a taste of what that's going to be like. And then we'll talk afterwards with Hart.
October 30th and 31st, only at the Imagine Theaters in downtown Lake Geneva, the 5th annual American Horror Film Festival comes to thrill you, to kill you, to make you cry. Tickets on sale now, online at AmericanHorrorFilmFestival.com, online at BoneyardPress2020.com. The 5th annual American Horror Film Festival brings you horror films, music videos, and short horror films from around the world. Films that have never been seen anywhere, never been released to the public, only on October 30th and 31st at the Imagine Theaters in downtown Lake Geneva. The 5th annual American Horror Film Festival. Get your tickets now. Limited seating available.
All right. Tell me the moment, Hart, when as a kid, I'm assuming you were a kid, and you thought, I really like being scared. And
Most people think I grew out of a jar, but I did not grow out of a jar. I grew up on the south side of Chicago in Blue Island with 2 amazing parents that both had degrees in psychology. And so the first thing that ever scared the hell out of me was the original Star Trek. I was a little baby and I was so scared. Captain Kirk was in the desert fighting this lizard guy, and Kirk has to make his own gunpowder and shoot him. And it scared the heck out of me so bad. I crawled under the couch and I was watching this like through the little tassels hanging from the couch. And that's my first real memory of enjoying being scared.
And you were how old again?
God, like a baby, like 3 or 4, like really little. And I was little enough to crawl under a couch. You guys can't see scale here, but I'm kind of a big fella.
And then what happened to where you started making comic books?
I grew up on the south side of Chicago in Blue Island, and I discovered comic books when I was 5 years old. I grew up reading Richie Rich, Archie, Little Lulu, Casper the Friendly Ghost, all that stuff. And I loved it. I loved Garfield the cat growing up. I loved The Far Side. But as a child at 5, I discovered comic books and I loved them. And I started drawing my own comic books like right away. Like immediately I started drawing my own comic books. And it was Space Giants versus King Kong and Godzilla versus the Mole Men. And the thing about drawing your own books is your imagination is the limit. I mean, you could do anything. There's no budget.
And I imagine your notebooks in school, as we have seen over the decades when they do a movie and somebody's sitting there in class and they're drawing these weird images. And I guess the most recent would be Joker, where the Joaquin Phoenix character had this notebook and had the most bizarre images. You've seen the movie, I assume.
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay. Was your notebook like Joker's notebook?
Yeah, my notebook, and in fact, the artwork I did for class in high school was, yeah. And the worst notebook drawings I ever had was physics class. And in physics, I got bored. So I started drawing my own porno comics called Ruben's Hot Monkey Love in my notes. And he had to come over, the Professor Cleary or Teacher Cleary had to come over to help me on a problem. He said, well, let me go through your notes. Oh.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were telling me before we went on here that your mother was a teacher.
Well, my grandmother was a teacher, and she gave me all the paper I could ever want, Grandma Cutler. And so Grandma, she gave me all the paper, all the pencils, all the pens, tape, anything I needed. And then my mother worked for the Department of Public Aid in Illinois, in Chicago. And so she had access to all the Xerox machines. So my mother would Xerox my comic books, and I would go sell them at school, in grade school, in junior high, in high school. High school was Bill the Bull. That's the character I just brought back for my Kickstarter. And one of the things that's cool is my mom saved all the books I ever drew as a child. And so on my return to comic publishing this summer, I got to unearth the original comics I drew of Bill the Bull in high school on like notebook paper. And I'm releasing those now.
Bill the Bull, is that what it is? Okay.
Yep, Bill the Bull. Half man, half dog.
Isn't that great when your parents support something that might be a bit off in normal circumstances, but your parents get you and they support that? I had that same situation where I was into creative writing, so my parents would encourage that along the way. And you can't beat that, because a lot of people go, okay, parents would be, okay, you got to be a dentist or a lawyer or this or that. You got to stay on the straight and narrow. And those of us who can't do that, we need to have some support along the way. And you got that from your mother, who you told me sadly passed away this year.
Yeah, and she was a big supporter of the film festival. You know, one of the neatest things to ever see in your life, I don't know, you've done a lot of media work, Garry. Have you ever like been on a big movie screen where your mom could see you on a movie screen?
No.
At the film festival, I introduced the movie. So like, I'm the host of the film festival. I'm the festival director of the American Horrors Film Festival, located at AmericanHorrorsFilmFestival.com. So I started doing something different than other people. Instead of introducing the film live, I shot my introduction on a green screen. And we did goofy, fun, silly stuff with all the intros. So there's my mother chomping popcorn in the 4K theater, and she's just laughing and enjoying herself, and just really, there's her son on the big screen. And that's part of why I keep doing it, is that enjoyment, that love. It's why I got back into comic publishing. It's why I continue to do the film festival and American Horrors. A lot of people think, why horror? And I say, it's all about the love, baby. It's all about the love.
It reminds me, Hart, of a moment my father had me come to this event of his group of insurance people. He was an insurance salesman, and there was some kind of mini convention, and he invited me along, and he introduced me in the audience as, here's my son, Garry Meier, as if they couldn't put the name together. He could have just said Garry, but that's the kind of moment where you go, they're getting a kick out of it, and that feels good. I like that.
When I was on the Jerry Springer show, my father was in the audience, and it was, you know, Jerry Springer shot in Chicago. And when I was doing comics, I was the villain. I was the bad guy. Oh, how could you do these true crime comics? Now true crime is big everywhere. And so my father's sitting in the audience, and I could see him, and some guy got up, and I'm going to use a different word because we're going to be more radio friendly here. He said, "What kind of piece of crap raised you?" With my father right there in the audience.
Wow.
And I looked at him, and he was laughing. He was laughing because he knew what kind of man he raised. He was proud of me, and I always knew it. And so was my mother. And that's part of my strength and value of having the support of your parents, is you have their support and their value and their respect, and it makes you stronger as a person.
And you've had a lot of sadness over the last few years since we last talked. You lost your wife, and that's got to be really tough. I mean, she was ill with cancer and lost that battle, but boy, you're just strong. I love talking to you because you have a lot of strength in you.
Thank you, Garry. I appreciate that very much. It's a tricky thing when you go through life and you lose a lot of the people that you love. When I was doing the Boneyard Press stuff, my first love was raped and murdered making my film, The Garbage Man. And the Garbage Man is playing at noon on Sunday at the film festival. And so it's strange to see these films and to see your loved ones and to see their place in it. And it's bittersweet, but better to adventured and have gone to the edge and have loved than have not. And so even though I've had all this darkness, even though I've had all this sadness and lost a lot of people, I got to love a lot of people, and I got to experience life with all these people. And that's what I'm taking with me. So when I do the film festival this year, I know my mother's spirit's going to be there. I know that Dirt's going to be there for the Altered Noise screening on Saturday night. I know that my late wife's spirit is going to be there. And I don't know, it sounds weird. I'm not the most religious guy, but I can kind of feel him around in a weird kind of way, you know. And I still talk to him like, Mom, I love you, I miss you. I guess for a horror guy, I'm a big softie.
That's all right. That's all right. Now let's talk about the film festival. You have how many films playing this weekend?
Okay, we have, I believe, what is it, 12 screenings or is it 13? We have 13 screenings here. I'll read it off. We start at noon on Saturday, October 30th with Valentine Crush, which is a really good roller derby movie. Anybody who shows up, the first 3 girls who show up in a roller derby costume, they're going to get in for free. Then at 2 p.m., we've got the Malibu Horror Story. At 4 p.m., Killer Shorts. Shorts, I love the short part, all the shorts in the music videos. 6:30 p.m., we've got The History of Metal and Horror. That's an awesome, awesome documentary that I'm really excited about, directed by Mike Schiff. Sometimes I get these names wrong. You know how it is, Gary. And we've got Alice Cooper in this. We got Rob Zombie, Kirk Hammett, John Carpenter, the guy who played Pinhead, Dave Mustaine, Jonathan Davis, Corey Taylor, all these amazing people. And then after that is The Altered Noise. I mentioned it's going to be like a memorial to our friend that we lost in September from Society One, Dirt, and aka DB Karloff. Great tattoo artist too. At 11 p.m., man, the movie we got at 11 p.m. is crazy, man. When I got the trailer, I didn't know if I even wanted to watch this movie. It's all about like kidnapping women out of like mall parking lots and turning them into sex slaves. Oh. It really disturbed me. It's called Girl Next. I don't know about that one.
Okay.
On Sunday, I mentioned at noon, I've got Garbage Man, which is my film. It's shot on 16mm film. It's out of print. At 2 p.m., another Illinois stalwart, Holes in the Sky by Ash Hamilton's playing, and I believe Ash is going to be there. At 4 p.m., we've got a really neat twist on the zombie genre. It's called Sleep, Walk, Kill. And it involves you turn into a murderous demon as soon as you fall asleep. Kind of like a twist on Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And at 6 p.m., really cool, The Last Frankenstein. The Last Frankenstein. Because on Halloween, I try to play more monster movies. This is gory, interesting, a good twist on the whole Frankenstein mythos. And then at 9 p.m., we're going to end the festival with Halloween shorts. But even before we end the festival, tonight, like after I get off the air, I got to eat some dinner. I'm going to be over at a place in Lake Geneva called Hogs and Kisses, and we're giving away shirts. We're giving away tickets. Hogs and Kisses is a really fun nightclub and bar in downtown Lake Geneva. I've done events with them before. It's kind of like being in a New York Soho fern bar without the ferns.
Okay.
And that's kind of the festival in a nutshell. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be shooting interviews. I'm going to be giving away stuff, giving away shirts. You know how it is, Gary.
I do. And that's what we do on this program. Let me go back to that movie you mentioned about the women being kidnapped in parking lots. We know what the atmosphere is today with the #MeToo movement and everything going on, where we're trying to not do bad things like that. What is the attitude of putting a film on like that? What kind of blowback do you think you'll get?
It's a strange thing to think about this. Like I said, the trailer made me queasy. I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this, because since my mother passed in January, I'm kind of like, ooh, like punched right in the head. I'm somebody put me on my stool and put some lidocaine on my cuts. And so with Girl Next, you're right. Of course, for myself, it's very personal because my first love was raped and murdered making my first film. Several of my women have been raped.
That's the name of a film? Raped and Murdered?
No. My first love was raped and murdered while I was making my movie, The Garbage Man.
Oh.
So okay. I've dealt with this kind of issue in my life, and I've got a lot of friends who dealt with being molested, dealt with being raped, and I myself have been sexually assaulted. I have been sexually battered. I've had a person try to rape me. So that's part of why, for me, this movie was pushing my buttons. And
so what do you think? I mean, should you air it? I mean,
oh yeah, it's a good film. Okay, when you go to air it, you got to understand, like, well, you have this dark subject matter, and so just because you have dark subject matter doesn't mean you walk away from it. Like, if you know cops or firemen, they've got the darkest sense of humor. Police officers, any kind of first responder, they've got very dark senses of humor because they're dealing with dark subject matter, and they got to work it through their system. They got to get it out of themselves. And so a film like this, I think, allows people to process these ideas, to process these fears, because it's like a roller coaster. It's a safe roller coaster. Okay, no one's going to be kidnapping you out of the audience. Not with me, there. God damn it! I used to be a goddamn bouncer. Can I say that on the air?
This is the internet. This isn't the air as we used to know it.
I've been trying to be Mr. Radio guy and pro, but
I appreciate that, and I understand that. I find myself
you never know what kind of blowback you're going to get, right, Garry?
No, I mean, I try not to just swear on this, and I can all the time, because I think it's just a cheap way of going in the conversation. But we can say it if you want to.
Well, I got to admit, I've been having fun being more professional. I call it being professional.
There you
I've
go.
been having more fun being professional as a broadcaster. So I've enjoyed, because sometimes censorship is good for a creator. I miss Howard Stern's battles with the FCC, because it made him more clever, because he had to get around their rules. And I think you and your experience on radio would understand me. Sometimes the censorship makes you funnier.
I agree. I think, and I've talked about this on my program, you need discipline. Discipline makes you stronger. That's why when I was going through Catholic grammar school and the nuns were brutal, I thought it was really intense and out of hand. But then when I got past it, I realized you need that. You need to have somebody tell you what's the line and don't cross it. And then you make the decision. At least you have that in your toolbox to know there's a line if you want to stay behind it or whatever. You need discipline.
Part of what you and I do is we are media figures. We are on the air. And when we fail publicly. And that could be very difficult. And what I would tell people is, you don't know who the hell you are till you've failed, until you got to get off the mat. I'm a martial arts guy. I do a lot of MMA. I've trained with a lot of amazing people, and you're going to tap 1,000 times on the mat before you make it to the top. And that's part of the festival. I've been building this festival year after year after year. The same with the television network, with the American Horrors Channel. I've been just steadily working at it like a long distance swim. And that's how I've tried to do it. And you don't know how people are going to react until you put it out there. You really don't. I had no idea my Jeffrey Dahmer comics were going to elicit such a crazy response. I had no idea that the story I did for Danzig called The Taste of Cherry was going to get banned in Oklahoma as obscene material. I didn't know that. I didn't see that coming. So it's really a fine line. And I think comedy and horror, they're hand in hand. They are hand in glove, because you're either laughing or you're not. You're either scared or you're not. And that's one of the things I like about comedy and horror. And it's one of the things I like about, even with the festival, we've got a lot of funny stuff. There's stuff in there that's funny. There's short films. We've got a thing called the Mill, I think it's the Mill Creek Strangler. And it's a whole spoof on serial killer culture. And it really takes and twists things. And that's one of the things I love about horror, is to get in there and tweak what people are expecting you to do. So when you come to the American Horrors Film Festival, you're going to see stuff that you didn't expect to see. You're going to see films that you're glad you saw, even if they took you on a bad trip. Because the thing about horror is, it's kind of like your dad, right? A lot of people go, well, if you do horror films, you're kind of Satanist. Well, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't God normally win in the end of most horror films? I mean, for real.
Okay, I haven't seen a lot, but I'll take your word for it, Hart. And
I'll tell you, I've seen a whole lot.
In the comment section, Lynn, and I thought this when I saw you, your eyes are hypnotizing me, and I think a lot of people. Do you know that you've been told this? Your eyes are very penetrating.
No, I've not been told that.
Really? Oh my God. I mean, when I look at you, I go, I'm being hypnotized. I swear to God.
Well, as a kid growing up, before I could ever walk, I rode the lightning. And what does that mean? My mom was asleep in bed with her. I was like 11 months old, 10 months old. And my mother had a heating pad on her stomach for her cramps from her period. And it was plugged into an extension cord. Dad's getting ready for work. And I crawled into the bedroom and I picked it up and I tried to eat it. So you can't see the scar on my lip, but it blew off half my mouth. Half my mouth was just cauterized. So I rode the lightning at like 10, 11 months old, and I don't think I'm right ever since. And as a habit since I was a child. Like school picture day for me was terrible to have that disfigurement of your face. I've had 2 plastic surgeries to have a regular mouth. And so a lot of the eye contact comes from me making eye contact so you don't look at my mouth. So you don't see the scar.
All right, now you're scaring me, Hart. Hey, listen, good luck with the film festival this weekend in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin at the Imagine Theater. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
I'm very happy to be here. I can't bring me on again. I'm going to be doing a Kickstarter for my Jeffrey Dahmer books. We're going to be doing Hart Fisher's Big Book of Dahmer. So I should come back on for that.
Okay. Well, that sounds interesting. All right. Thank you, Hart.
Before you go, Hart, can folks see the film festival online as well?
They cannot see the film festival online on this weekend, but on January 1st, the American Horrors TV channel will be airing all week long our festival coverage. So the interviews, movies, not every movie, because sometimes the rights aren't there. You can't stream certain films, which is cool. I'm fine with that. I respect my creators and what they need for their legal reasons. And that's important entertainment. Respect your legal needs of your creators. And so on January 1st, you'll be able to see a lot of this stuff at American Horrors on Roku or American Horrors at the American Horrors Film Festival.com.
Thank you, Hart Fisher. There you have it. There's your introduction to Halloween weekend. I'm not a big horror fan. I have a very intense imagination, and that stuff lingers if I watch it. So I try to stay away from it. I got to go with the googly eyes. How about that? You happy with that, Leslie?
I am. What a good guy. And
he is.
Yes, he definitely needs to come back. And
his eyes are hypnotic. Did you notice that? Yeah, I mean,
they are. They're very pretty.
You're getting very sleepy, that kind of thing. Wow.
On top of that, I mean, we barely delved into the whole Jeffrey Dahmer comic book. And the fact
wondering
that
how
you call it a comic book. It's like, is it a graphic novel? Is it a comic book? So there's still lots more to get to.
Yeah, I thought, okay, we have enough for this session. The Jeffrey Dahmer comic books, okay.
It's complicated.
This is a show where we try to have a good time.
The first horror film I saw was a really low budget film called The Town That Dreaded Sundown. And all I recall is a girl being tied to a tree, and then a guy tapes a knife to a trombone and he trombones her to death.
Okay.
And I was so effed up. I had to leave. I mean, it's like, no, I guess I don't have the disposition for this.
Okay, if you take nothing else out of this program tonight, and you might not, tromboned to death the phrase that pays. Oh my God.
But there's so much more. Okay, so this is our Halloween show. And I did come in costume, believe it or not. Are you ready for my costume?
I am ready.
I want to talk to your manager. Look at her. Okay.
There she
I'm
is.
a Karen.
There she is. She's a Karen.
It's the scariest thing ever.
Put your mask on. I want to talk to your manager.
Exactly. So the other thing we should mention before we go to Ryan and the Wisconsin report, I did get some mail this week. Well, I got a beautiful gift from Ryan and his lovely wife. And that should be pointed out. It's a little kitty, but it's one of those Russian stacking dolls. So it's a kitty with a kitty, and I think there are 5 in all. So that was really cool. And it's now the partner to my Halloween cat. So thank you very much.
Very nice. And you and your husband lunched with Ryan and his wife in Wisconsin.
We met part way. We went up to Antioch, and they came south to Antioch. And
Antioch is in northern Illinois.
In Illinois.
Okay, so you lunched in Illinois together.
And it just happened to be their Halloween celebration. So all the little children in Antioch were dressed up, and it was really awesome.
And we failed to mention the 10th anniversary of Ryan and his lovely wife, Jamie, last week. They just celebrated 10 years. So happy anniversary to them.
Happy anniversary, and Jamie's birthday yesterday.
And we give away things, but we also get things from listeners.
Okay.
And you want there's Jamie in her Titanic dress.
So turns out that Lynn from Racine doesn't just send us sweets and things like that. Exactly. So I get a thing in the mail. And she gave me no explanation. And
Okay.
she just trusted me to enjoy it for what it's worth. And here it is, kids. It is a ladies' travel urinal.
Okay.
It says that women are of all ages can urinate standing up, sitting down, or in a lying position without undressing. It's discreet, it's portable, it's reusable. It's designed not to flow back, splash, or spill. But here's what else I realized last night. Look at me. Oil can. See,
So you can
I'm
go
the
as the
Tin
Tin
Man.
Man. There you go.
There you go.
Okay, we have not been talking about that, and usually this happens where we'll have a conversation and then
allusion,
somebody will
right.
send us something related to that. This is just random.
No, she just sent me this. So
That's the
I
great
put
thing.
it on over my clothes yesterday to show my husband. I'm putting it down there. And he went, please don't ever do that
Don't do
again.
that. Don't do that. Okay.
Don't do that.
And this is the same woman who sent me the screen door. So, I mean, this is what I love
God, you
about
guys
our
are awesome.
great listeners here. They do
Oh my
these
gosh.
things and it's very fun.
And with that, one of our listeners sent us some things that we're going to be giving away next week, some special t-shirts related to the pandemic. And I'm just going to kind of tease it a little bit here.
Okay.
But in the meantime, if you haven't signed up, hashtag GarrForce to win this week's prize. And that is the scarf and the wine condom.
All right. Well, first of all, let's pay homage to the fine sponsors of the program, the great people at Bentonhausen Automotive in Tinley Park and Orland Park, Illinois. What do you say? I think
Go on a power trip during Ram Power Days. Going on now at Bettenhausen Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, and certified pre-owned megastore in Tinley Park and Orland Park. Right now, get 0% for 72 months, plus $3,000 total cash on a new 2021 Ram 1500. Your best truck buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
I got into the Ram truck today that I was driving for a friend, and I put on satellite on the 60s channel, and the guy on the air said that today is Denny Lane's birthday. Denny Lane from the Moody Blues and Wings. And I met Denny through John Doolin at Bettenhausen, and you did too.
Right.
They had an event with Denny Lane at Bettenhausen, and we got to meet Denny. And I sent him a birthday greeting, and I got a response. And it's one of those things where I still get a kick out of getting close to these people that have been these big stars. And you get a text from them and go, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm not blasé about it. I like that. That's fun. So happy birthday, Denny. I mean, he was with Wings for the entire Wings run. That entire 10 years, Paul, Linda, Denny Lane. That was Wings.
And he's so approachable. I mean, the event that they did at Bettenhausen was just delightful. And and he's exactly what you wanted Denny Lane to be. He was that cool with everybody there.
I don't know if you have this experience where when I met him that first time, I'm standing there in Tinley Park, Illinois, and I'm thinking, I saw Wings when they first went on tour of America, and I'm watching Denny and Paul and Linda up on stage, and then I'm standing next to him in Tinley Park, Illinois. Yeah, it's a weird combo. I mean, I've had this happen a number of times, and it's weird. I hope you all get a chance to have that experience because it's very bizarre in a fun way. I like bizarre. I really do. And that was one of those moments. And then you have the Tin Man.
So do those of you who tune in for this. So yay, I think we're
David
all kindred
Hochberg.
spirits.
He's the other fine sponsor. If you need a refi and a mortgage for your house, this is the guy. I mean, I know I have a bromance with a lot of guys, and I hope they don't get jealous, but I have a bromance with this man because he has been so supportive. In fact, the scarves we're giving away, David is the sugar daddy for those. He paid for those back in the day, and that's what he would do. He would hear the show and go, hey, let's do this, let's do that. I'll pay for it because the radio station marketing department didn't want to do it. David stepped up, and that's what he does with his mortgage company. He steps up and gets things done. I've had a number of people, friends of mine, go through him for mortgages and refi. Great experience. He saved you money. If you like saving money, he's the guy. All right. And Ryan is our Wisconsin reporter. And I hope you all enjoyed your lunch together, Ryan and Leslie and your spouses.
We had a great time. So, and we got the little benefit that it was little kids trick-or-treating. So we got to see lots of fun costumes, and then we're adults too walking around. So we had a great time. So,
and Ryan's lovely wife just celebrated a birthday, and Ryan was telling us some of the things she got for her birthday is quite an assortment. Ryan, why don't you tell us what that was?
So, we had to keep moving forward to Christmas. So we got my Peppa Pig inflatable outdoor decoration. So there's a picture, I think I have it shared here. There's Peppa Pig. So she got that from my son, who's a Peppa Pig fan, and then her mother got her a weed whacker. So and then kind of everything in between. We got her some soap and some candy. So it was quite the assortment.
Okay,
so
Peppa Pig, soap, candy, and a weed whacker.
Yep.
What does Peppa Pig have to do with Christmas? Am I missing something?
We were walking in Home Depot, and we were trying to see if there was any last minute Halloween decorations, and they're all full Christmas, and we saw the Peppa Pig, and it was the right price too. It wasn't
because your son Hank is a huge Peppa Pig fan.
Correct. Right. And it was affordable, $29.95 rather than, $300 for the giant skeletons that they were selling.
Yeah, the giant skeleton is the thing this year, as it was in the last few years. They're getting bigger. It used to be 12 feet. Now they're even bigger.
Will Peppa be attending the birth of our Lord Jesus? Because we always love the nativity scenes where they incorporate everybody who shouldn't be there, including Baby Yoda and Mickey and Minnie and people like that.
I posted a picture on my Facebook page yesterday, and it was the giant skeleton. And what this guy does, he leaves it up all year, and then he just puts different holiday clothing on it for St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day. He just leaves it up all year. And my comment was, I better not see that giant skeleton next to baby Jesus during Christmas. Okay.
I think Peppa's going in the back patio. My wife said, well, we maybe shouldn't put that out in front this year. We'll put it in the back patio. I said, so we can look out the window and see Peppa staring at us. But we'll see where it ends up at.
All right. And you have a report, I believe.
I do.
Before we run Ryan's report, Ryan, do you have that mug that you're going to give away handy?
I do right here.
Show off the mug. It's all in plastic rack. Let me, I'm going to put a comment right into the YouTube feed only. And I'm going to do that over here. And if you'd like a chance on YouTube to win the mug, I'm going to just say comment. And then we're going to say
secret thing for you YouTubers.
So this is the official GarrForce merchandise, the 11-ounce mug. So it's the real thing. So
it's not a fake. It's the
real
thing.
I'm going to comment right now. Comment for the mug with a hashtag just to our YouTube watchers. There it goes. Go ahead and start commenting that, and we will come back to that towards the end of the show and draw for that particular hashtag. But we've got the other one. We've got the other one
and the scarf too.
Well, we've got the GarrForce one that's queued up for everyone,
right?
And we have this one that's queued up just for the mug from Ryan.
Yeah, all right.
And this way we can. And once again, if you are watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and point out that there is value in watching us on Fridays when you can watch us live. You win stuff, and you're going to win some cool stuff next week too.
Yes, that's what we do here.
And my report's harnessing a little bit of your brother's energy from California and UFOs. So
okay, are we ready to run that, Alan?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I was opening up the other window there. Give me one moment here, and we will get that ready here.
All right.
You guys can keep talking, and I will.
And what is Hank going for as Halloween?
He's like an astronaut, NASA. The orange jumpsuit, the hat. So he's got that all. That was what he was last year, and 2 years ago, and he won some Halloween contest with it. So
I've been watching this series about our space program on PBS, and the space program has been such a unifier in our country, and I hope we continue to put money into that, because they showed all those launches back in the 60s and 70s, and everybody came together. They're down in Cape Kennedy, Cape Canaveral, applauding and watching the rocket go and landing on the moon. The whole world was part of it. And we've lost
We're
that.
just a couple of weeks away from the launch of the newest space telescope. And so within the next few weeks, months, we're going to see pictures of space that we've never, ever seen before. It's going to be really exciting.
To make us feel even more insignificant in this whole scheme
I'm
of
sure.
things. Every time I see those pictures, I go, oh my God. I just really, it scares me because we are just dust in this little planet we're on.
This floating speck of dust in the big picture, and we're dust down the dust. Oh,
and we're worried about the weirdest benign stuff. I mean, all right, that's enough. I'm okay.
Ready?
The Manhattan's
Ready for the video?
We're ready.
For the video.
Ready
All
for
right.
the video.
Let's see. Here we go. Right. There it is. There it is.
It's Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
Hey, it's Ryan. This week we're going to talk UFOs and Wisconsin. I was recently reading an article in the Milwaukee Magazine by Chad Lewis, who's a paranormal researcher. He was highlighting the rich history the Midwest and Wisconsin has around UFO sightings. Some of the sightings go back to the late 1800s, where many people recorded and reported UFO flagships in the sky. I think they mean like what we saw in the movies, the aliens are landing to take us away. Many people agreed that it was something, but couldn't figure out exactly what it was. It wasn't a shooting star, nor was it a kite, the article says. So I did a little more research and found out that Wisconsin's ranked 21st in the U.S. for UFO sightings, 1,660. The next state is Tennessee with 1,556. I didn't realize Wisconsin was so popular with UFO sightings. Many of us think it's California. Gary's brother sends many photos from California to him, highlighting what he sees out there. Here's a few photos that were in the article that I thought I would pass along. And since it's Halloween, I had to end with a Halloween pumpkin carving contest story. So the Wake Up crew in Wausau was running a contest for the best carved pumpkin. A lady by the name of Nina Pacello won this contest. Here's her pumpkin. Have a great Halloween, and we'll talk next week.
So Wisconsin is 21st in sightings. That means 20 other states see more.
Correct.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that Wisconsin is a hotbed of sightings. You're about halfway.
I thought they were, about halfway, which surprised me. I guess I didn't even really think that there's a history in Wisconsin, and it was popping up all over my news feed and local stations. They were just airing this because it was in Milwaukee Magazine. So it was like,
what's the number one state?
I should have done my research and paid attention to that. I didn't do that.
Nevada?
I should look. I'll look.
Yeah, I'm thinking Southwest.
Yeah,
something in the Southwest. They seem to see a lot of that. Well,
so
all right.
I thought I was, I thought I had to pay attention because everybody was like, what's going on in Wisconsin with UFOs? So
yeah, okay, it's all bullshit. There is nothing out there. If they wanted to, they would have landed long ago and vaporized the hell out of us. So move on. Nothing more to see here. And when we put that new telescope out that you were just talking about, Leslie, we're going to find that it's a lot of other nothingness. That's the Supreme Being's joke. This is a big prank. There's nothing. There's no meaning. Oh, no. We're just sitting here waiting to go, and that's it.
No, there are parallel universes that we haven't even delved into.
Yeah, oh my God.
We're like those little creatures in Men in Black living in that locker. And we're going to find out that it's 10 times cooler out there.
Let's give away the scarf and the condom, and then we'll do your batch, and then we'll give away the mug. How about that? Ryan is going to give away the mug, and Alan is going to push the button for the scarf and the condom right now.
All right,
let's coordinated.
Let's put that on the screen then. Let's see. It's one button here and another button over there. And
it's a lot of buttons there, Alan.
There is a lot of buttons.
A lot of buttons.
And I'm afraid of which button I might push next.
This is more complicated than the first Apollo mission to go out in space.
Exactly. At this point, launching that telescope, nothing to it.
How did they do it?
Hang on one second.
We could do anything.
I need to do something here. There we go. I didn't want to accidentally reveal the YouTube one, and these things aren't labeled all that well. So here we go. Here's the correct tool for the condom and the scarf.
That's what she said.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
All
here
about
we
the
go.
tool. Ready? 3, 2, 1, draw.
There we go. Martin,
Congratulations, Martin.
Martin
All right.
Kelly on Facebook. We will either have you send a message to Gary's account or we'll send you a message there later. Make sure you check your email, your Facebook email, and we will message you there.
All right. We're going to do some stories and then we'll give away the coffee mug. How about that?
All right.
Well, first, a surgeon in Massachusetts is facing disciplinary action for leaving an operation room prior to the operation. He went to grab a bite to eat and then he fell asleep in his car and missed the rest of the procedure. Dr. Tony Tannery was the head, well, he still is the head of spine surgery at Boston Medical Center, and he's been fined $5,000 for his negligent actions during that surgery back in November of 2016. Dr. Tannery admits that he exited the operating room at the beginning of an emergency ankle surgery in order to go eat in his car, where he then fell asleep for several more hours. Luckily, the chief resident at the time was able to step into his place and perform the necessary repair.
Maybe it's better he fell asleep, because if that's his attitude, do you want him working on you?
Exactly. I want him to have those pre-hunger shakes going on or the post-hunger sleepies. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, really.
There's all this hoorah about what happened at a high school in Kentucky, and officials there are getting some flack for what many consider a very inappropriate homecoming celebration. During the man pageant portion of the festivities at Hazard High, boys dressed in nothing but their underwear and gave faculty members lap dances, while female students dressed as Hooters waitresses and applauded from the sidelines. One of those who received a lap dance was none other than the school's principal, Happy Mobilini, who also happens to be the town's mayor. The school superintendent is promising a full investigation and penalties if warranted.
I love this story because of a couple name theory type things. The town is Hazard. That's the name of the town. The nickname of the mayor principal is Happy. And what was he thinking? He's got a male student giving him a lap dance.
Right.
And people are taking all kinds of vid and photos. What's going on here? And then there are girls parading around in Hooters shorts.
I think they're the old Hooters outfits, so the shorts cover their butts. But we were just talking about this. I think there's reason to believe that they may have done something similar in previous years, but without all the vid, it didn't get circulated quite as much. And this was something we talked about on the podcast because you were watching Leave It to Beaver, and Beaver mentioned the fact that boys were swimming naked. And like we said, it was happening all across the United States that boys in schools and at park districts were forced to swim naked.
Yes.
But we didn't have vid, so nobody gave it.
No. And if we did, you would have seen me as an 8-year-old boy naked on the internet, if that appeals to you.
And Zuckerberg on the new Meta, I probably would have eventually gotten to taking it down.
Yeah,
a man in India is dead after chomping down on a venomous snake, an act of revenge for apparently an earlier encounter. Local sources say Rama Mato was under the influence of alcohol when he captured the viper he thought had bitten him on the leg earlier that day. As he attempted to pay this little snake back by biting it, it landed at least 10 more bites to Mr. Mato's face, and despite pleas from his family to seek medical help, he went to bed and he didn't get up in the morning.
Leslie, I'm on alcohol right now, and I'm not going to bite a snake after the show.
Are you sure?
No, I'm going to
go
out
sit on the rock?
I'm going to go sit on a rock, take my shoes off and cry, but I'm not going to bite a snake. I'm not that stupid.
Shoo. So there will be a next week. Yay.
Well, wait a minute now.
And a woman in Bangkok is facing attempted murder charges for cutting the ropes on 2 window washer scaffolds, leaving them dangling 26 floors above the ground. The woman was reportedly angry that she had not been properly informed that the window washing team would be there. And it turns out, though, that she was informed. She just didn't read the notification from the super. Lucky for the stranded washers, another tenant in the building was able to open a window and pull them safely inside.
I lived in a high rise for many years. And here's the bit. We've talked about this. If you don't want people to look in, close your shades. Otherwise, people are going to look in. That's the way it is. I remember walking out of the shower, Starkers, and there's the window washer. That's the way it goes. If he wants to look, then it's my fault that I didn't close the shades.
And I guess it's just a peril of the job, in addition to the fact that you're hanging 20 stories above the ground. But yeah, I bet they see a lot.
Leslie, I've been used to being naked in front of the public when I swam naked as an 8-year-old boy. So now I'm just into it.
There you go. You were groomed, perhaps.
I don't care.
Let's that's
right.
so
You don't have to look. If you want to look, look. If I don't close the shades, look. It's my fault.
Nobody said you had to dance, though.
No, I know. Yeah, I did dance for the window washers. Okay.
Well, I think that takes care of that.
All right,
We've got another giveaway.
Another giveaway. All right, Ellen, what should we do here? We got the coffee mug from Ryan
with the things on the back.
So we've gotten a bunch of entries from the folks on YouTube, and I'm going to bring that up on the screen, and we're going to hit draw right away, which means that nobody can cheat on Facebook when they see what the hashtag was. I am going to add that to the screen I said, which is this button here. Right? It's that button there. No, it isn't. It's that button there. There are a lot of buttons running this show. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. It was hashtag Go Ryan from Wisconsin.
Lynn
Tracy.
Wow.
So Lynn, go ahead and have Lynn send a text or an email to Garry at the show's account, GarryMeierShow at GarryMeier.com, or text 773-888-2157 and give Garry some sort of proof that it's you. And Garry will get that to Ryan, and Ryan will get you the mug.
Lynn sent the urinal to Leslie.
So you'll know who Lynn is then.
Yes, this is good karma. See, Lynn sends a
what
urinal.
goes around comes around.
It's a mug. It's all good. This is the way we roll here on Friday, and we hope you enjoyed the show. And thank you, Hart Fisher. We're back next Friday. Hope you can join us then. And I am pretty shit-faced. Thank you.
Brian Sheridan, send us pictures of the new tattoo. We want to see it.
All right. That's it. Let's give out that cannoli. It's very nice. Look at it. Ooh, Papa. Take the cannoli. What about the schnauzer, Leslie?
You know, I mean, if you can put it on there, I would do it. And don't
I want you to put your schnauzer, or I want you to put your thing on my schnauzer.
Just however you want to put it on your schnauzer.
All right. Happy Halloween, everybody. Have a great weekend. Talk to you on Monday. It's 3 in the green. Gear down, flaps are down. The voice of the globe, the GarrForce, has landed.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce